and welcome back to the channel. Mr. Acolyte here, coming at you with how to choose your main for Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. This game has seen a ton of updates and a bunch of new character additions since it originally released, but I thought now with the addition of Wilnas, this would be a great time to make a guide to help newcomers decide which character is perfect for them. In this guide, we're going to go through every character, how their kits work, what their playstyle is, and whether or not they are the type of character that you personally would want to play. If you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button to see more videos like this, as well as match reviews and match videos for a variety of fighting games. Also consider leaving a like, as it does help out guides like this a lot, and I do greatly appreciate it. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump right on into how to choose your main. Okay, so before we start jumping into the character breakdowns, let's go ahead and just quickly talk about how this guide's going to actually work. In order to make this guide easy to follow and easy to understand, I'm going to divide all the characters up into these 6 different categories. Let's talk about these categories real quick. First of all, we have the all-rounder. Just as the name implies, this is a character that is pretty good at everything. Think of this as like your jack-of-all-trades kind of character. Next up is Rushdown. This is a character who's focused on getting in, staying close, and applying pressure to the opponent non-stop. Mix-up characters. This is different from a Rushdown character while also being sort of similar. These characters also get in, but these characters specialize in opening the opponent up and being difficult to defend against. Zoners, these are characters who specialize in either keeping the opponent away or forcing the opponent to chase them down. Grapplers, these are your big body characters. These are usually characters with a lot of armor or characters with focus on command grabs. And unique, these are characters that don't fit cleanly into any regular archetype. Usually these characters have a strange kit, and they have a lot of different ways you can play them that don't necessarily fit into any of these categories above. Okay, so now that we understand how these characters are all going to be categorized, let's go ahead and start breaking them down one by one. Gran. Being one of the main characters of this game, he is obviously an all-rounder. He specializes in doing just a little bit of everything. Starting with his unique skill, he has a bar underneath his super meter that you can see right there. By holding U, you can charge this bar up to 3 levels. Once the bar fills to level 3, he does a slash that becomes invincible. Also, if you actually connect it, it becomes a combo tool. His neutral skill is a fireball. You use this to control space. The light version is a quick, fast fireball. The medium is a stronger, slower fireball, and the EX is a powerful tool for up close if you want to be plus, and far away it will eat through any normal projectiles. The ultimate version is a huge fireball that's meant to check just about anything that's on the screen at the time. His forward skill is a DP. This is designed simply to get the opponent off of you. The medium and EX versions are both invincible, as well as the ultimate. His down skill is a lariat attack. This is used for strings and combo filler. If you do the medium version, it becomes his iconic Timberland boot. Use this to control space. If you space it properly, it can end up being plus on block. His back skill shares a cooldown with the down skill, since they both do the EX boot. The highlight of Gran's kit is that he is a very simple character to use. He has a balanced kit, and he's pretty much one of the best characters to pick if you are trying to learn the game and get a handle of the mechanics and everything. Also, he is the only character that is always free. This game has a rotating roster of free characters. Gran, however, does not rotate. If you're playing the free version, he is always selectable. So if you want a character that you can play for free, Gran is your guy. EX Gran. Gran's EX version becomes a rushdown character. He has short range, but very high damage potential and very strong pressure tools. Starting with his unique, by pressing U, you will automatically do an uppercut that is fully invincible. This is, of course, to get the opponent off of you. His neutral skill is a pseudo fireball. It doesn't actually travel, but it is meant to be an ender for his pokes. If you do the EX version, however, it is still plus, similar to regular Gran. Keep in mind that even his ultimate fireball does not travel very far. Moving on to his down skill. His down skill is a lariat. He does this wind kick here. The different strengths travel different distances. And similar to the Timberland boot, if you space it properly, it can be plus. It is also a combo tool, and the ultimate version becomes a DP. His back skill is a lunging slash. The light version is safe, and the medium version travels further than the light and becomes plus. So unlike some of the other moves where they need to be spaced, you need a resource, this move is always plus as long as it connects with the opponent. Same thing for the EX version and the ultimate version. And lastly, his forward skill is a lunging stab. This move has special properties because it is special cancelable. So if you do this move in a string or in a combo, you can still cancel it into other special moves. If you wanted to, you could chain almost all of Gran's special moves together in one go. The highlight of EX Gran's kit is that similar to regular Gran, he is very easy to use, very straightforward, but he has really high damage potential and very, very strong rushdown tools. So if you want a good character again for learning the game, much like regular Gran, he's a great choice for that. But the big difference here is if you like strong rushdown and that's the kind of gameplay that you want, I would suggest EX Gran over regular Gran. Also, side note, just like regular Gran, he's always playable if you are a free-to-play player. Djeeta. As the game's other protagonist, just like Gran, she is an all-rounder who specializes in just a little bit of everything. Her unique, similar to Gran as well, has a special bar under the super meter. If you charge this up, you get access to this hop attack here. By charging it up, it turns into a plus move. Her neutral skill is a fireball, the light version being slow, medium is a little bit faster, and EX is the fastest, and of course it is plus from up close. And the ultimate version is sort of a short range poking attack. Her forward skill is a DP, use this as a get off of me. Her down skill is a Rekka, you use this as combo filler and a block string ender. The EX version is her corner launcher, as is the ultimate version. And also similar to Gran, her back skill shares a cooldown with her down skill. The highlight of Djeeta is very similar to Gran. She is a easy to play, straightforward character, and she's very good if you are trying to learn the game. And just in general, she's very intuitive and fun to play. EX Djeeta. Djeeta's EX version remains an all-rounder, but instead of being pretty good at everything, she's really good at everything. Starting with her unique. If you press U with EX Djeeta, she will quickly go into this charging stance and you will gain immediate charges. Think of this as if you've ever played Ryu in Street Fighter, it's very similar to his Denjin charge. Once you have these charges, they will augment your special moves. Her neutral skill is still a fireball. Light one is slow, medium is faster, EX is fastest. Plus on block, of course. With EX Djeeta, the ultimate version becomes a bullet. Her forward skill is a DP. The medium and above are all invincible. Her down skill is borrowed from base Djeeta. It becomes the hop kick. She no longer needs to charge in order to do this. She just gains access to the hop kick at all times, and no matter what version you do, it is plus on block. And because this hops, it works fantastically as a shimmy. If you are trying to set the opponent up for a throw, you can use this to jump over their throw tech and even get a combo for it. And her back special is this lunging stab. It works as a sort of check at the mid-range, but the real specialty of it is in the corner. It functions as her launcher. If you add her charges to the mix, her fireball becomes bigger and more powerful. It will even eat through other fireballs as if it were an EX. And her launcher gains more height. Djeeta's highlight is that she is still very easy to use, but she is just really strong in all areas. Her neutral, damage potential, and pressure are all pretty scary. She's basically a super Shoto. Katalina. Katalina is an all-rounder, and she is the queen of neutral. Her unique skill is a reflect. If you hold down U, she will put up this wall. If the opponent tries to attack while you have the wall up, you will counterattack. And it should be noted that you can dash cancel the wall stance. Her neutral skill is a fireball, good for controlling the neutral, of course. Also a pressure tool from up close. The ultimate version is basically a neutral check. If the opponent is doing anything, they are zapped into a crumple state. Her forward skill is a DP. The medium and above all work as get off me tools. Her down and back skills both share the same cooldown. They work as a lariat. This move is very, very, very strong for controlling the neutral. The strength of the button you choose decides the distance that she travels. This is just great for checking the opponent at neutral, and it is frankly just kind of a jump scare. The ultimate version even has armor on startup. The highlight of Katalina's kit is honestly just her amazing buttons and space control. She is basically one of the most neutral focused characters in the game. So if you like playing sort of a slow paced screen control format, then she is the ideal character for you. Charlotta. Charlotta is a rushdown character. She focuses on fast-paced gameplay with an up-close game plan. Her unique skill is a parry. By pressing unique, you go into this parry stance. If the parry makes contact with an opponent, you will get this pretty cool parry animation. This even works on projectiles. Her neutral skill is a DP. The light version kind of functions as a poke. It is relatively safe on block, but the medium and above are all invincible and used to get the opponent off of you. Her forward skill is the Blanca Ball. She does a spin forward, and the strength of the button decides the distance. She uses this to get in. Very similar to Blanca, the idea is to whiff this just in front of the opponent so that you can go into offense from there. The ultimate version of this move functions basically as a full screen jump scare. Her down skill, she borrows Akuma's Demon Flip. While doing this, you have several different options. If you do nothing, just like Akuma himself, she will do a low attack. This low attack is plus on block, but you can cancel it into other attacks as well on the way down, giving it a little bit of mix-up potential. And her back skill is the 100-hand slap. She does a bunch of slashes on your block depending on the strength of the button. If you do the medium version, it's a bit slower, but it is plus. Same for the EX version. This is to keep up her pressure during block strings. Even the ultimate version is plus. Charlotta's highlight is basically just her mobility. She has a very fast jump. You can get across the screen very fast. And honestly, she's just a difficult character to keep out. So if you like rushdown, if you like getting in quickly and trying to skip neutral as much as possible, Charlotta is the character for you. Lancelot. Lance is a mix-up character who focuses on high mobility and constant mix-ups. His unique is a special dash. By pressing the U button, he will do a dash, and you can input directions to decide what this dash does. By pressing forward, you can dash behind the person for cross-ups. By pressing up, you can teleport in the air for potential mix-ups. And by pressing back, you can fake it out. So you have a lot of mobility right out the gate simply by pressing the unique button. His neutral skill is the Ice Ball. The L version is very slow but travels full screen, allowing him to run behind it. Same thing for the medium version. It's even slower, which makes it even easier to run behind. And the EX version is extremely slow but has multiple hits. However, this one does not go full screen. This one is meant more for Oki. And then there's the ultimate version. The ultimate version will actually debuff the opponent and slow them down by freezing them. His forward skill is a Lariat. This is used to close the gap and basically poke the opponent at neutral. By spacing it, you can make it plus. The ultimate version becomes a teleport attack. His down skill is also a teleport attack. The strength that you use will decide the distance that you travel. The EX travels almost full screen. If you press the skill button again on the way up, he will do an invincible follow-up for all the versions of this. And the ultimate version is just invincible by default. His back skill is a Rekka. You have a lot of options with this. You can do up to 3 different attacks. And the idea is to kind of keep your opponent guessing by pausing at different areas and restarting your pressure. The highlight of Lance's kit is that he is just, to put it simply, he's extremely fast. It's very easy for him to get in. The whole point of his toolkit is to get close to the opponent as quickly as possible and apply pressure non-stop. He's very hard to block, and as of the last patch, he does a lot of damage. So if you're the kind of person that likes to get in quick and apply a lot of pressure, and especially go for a lot of different kinds of mix-ups, then Lancelot is the perfect character for you. Percival. Percival is a rushdown character with powerful pressure tools and really long reach. His unique is a command grab. Simply by pressing U, you can command grab the opponent, adding a lot of fear factor to his up-close pressure game. His neutral skill is a fireball. It travels across the ground. The strength that you press will decide the distance traveled. The ultimate version is one of the best moves in the entire game. It puts a flame carpet on the floor. If the opponent blocks this or remains inside the carpet, it will aggressively chip away their health. His forward skill is a DP. His medium and above are get off of me moves, and they lunge very far. His back skill is a stance. He will dash forward, and depending on what you press afterward, will do different attacks. Light, medium, and heavy will all do something different with their own unique properties. His down skill is a flame charge. By doing this, you will build up charges, and this powers up his other moves. For example, his fireballs become stronger, allowing them to travel much further and just be stronger in general. It also buffs his stance. The highlight of Percy's game is basically just really high damage and really strong pressure. Because of his incredible reach and the power of his flame carpet, he is just a scary character that is hard to keep away and you just don't ever want near you. So if you enjoy rushdown that is pretty safe with very little chance for the opponent to counterattack a lot of your abilities, then you should give Percy a try. Ladiva. Ladiva is the grappler of this game. She offers the classic grappler archetype. Starting with the unique skill. The unique skill is a lunging command grab. Simply by just pressing U, you will do a command grab that lunges at the opponent and bounces them off the wall. Her neutral skill is the SPD. Each strength of the button will do a stronger and stronger command grab. Forward skill is a headbutt. This is used to destroy incoming fireballs, and from up close it is a plus move, making it a strong pressure tool for setting up command grabs. Down skill is an anti-air grab. You can literally grab jumping opponents out of the air with this. And the back skill is a lariat. If the opponent blocks any strength of this, it is extremely plus. The opponent has to duck this if they want to get out of the way. The ultimate version is a complete guard break, even if they are ducking. This move has to be spot dodged in order to be evaded. The highlight of Ladiva's game plan should be pretty obvious. It's exactly as you see it on screen. Textbook grappler. If the grappler archetype is something that you like, then give Ladiva a shot. Metera. Metera is the game's premier zoner. She is very hard to reach, but also very hard to escape. Her unique attack is this hop here. By pressing U, she will do a jump. This is good for a variety of reasons. For one thing, you can instantly go into overheads, giving it mix-up potential. You can also fake into a low, and it is very good at just jumping over buttons and being pesky in general. Her neutral skill is a high fireball. The different strengths decide the speed the opponent can duck this, but it is a very, very powerful screen control tool. The ultimate fires 3 arrows and cannot be ducked. Her forward skill is an anti-air fireball. This works on multiple levels. The first part of it is meant to stop opponents from approaching in the air, and the second part of it is designed to stop them from rolling. Her back special is a low fireball, and her down special summons a butterfly. These butterflies react to all of her attacks. If you send the butterfly out and shoot it, it will explode. You use this both as a zoning tool and as a pressure tool because the explosion is extremely plus. By using the ultimate version, you can make the butterfly stick to the opponent. The highlight of Metera's gameplay should be pretty obvious. She is just one of the ultimate zoners in the game. While she's very, very hard to reach, when she gets you in the corner or gets you in pressure situations, it can be very, very hard to defend. She's notoriously one of the most difficult characters to get out of the corner against. If you're a player who likes both zoning and locking the opponent down, look no further than Metera. Lowain. Lowain is a unique character. His tools are chaotic and overwhelming. Starting with his neutral. His neutral is to eat food. By pressing U, he will summon food. Depending on which food he gets, it'll restore either health or meter, so he can gain meter and health back for free. His neutral skill summons the bros. Depending on which button you press, one of the bros will come in to attack. While this is happening, Lowain is free to move and attack as well. He's basically supposed to attack in unison with them. If you do the EX, both bros come in, causing a lot of chaos. The ultimate version, the bros roll in at super speed as a very powerful and very fast projectile. His forward skill is a counter. This is his get off of me tool. The ultimate version becomes a DP. His down skill summons the Caterpillar, the Katalina bot, to do a variety of attacks. The light version is good for block strings and Oki. The medium version is a laser that covers the neutral. The EX version is a barrage of missiles that does just about everything. And the ultimate version is a very kooky, wacky attack where she drills into you. If this attack actually connects, it will take the opponent to the corner guaranteed. And his back skill is a lariat. This is used for his block strings and as his combo filler. The ultimate version becomes a launcher. Something unique that I'll talk about for Lowain. For most characters, I don't really talk about their supers, but his is a unique case because his supers are also attacks. His regular super summons the bros to do a human pyramid. This is basically a super stance. The time will slowly run out while you're in the stance, but while in it, he basically cannot be interrupted. He has a regular poke, an overhead, an anti-air, and a low. So basically you're supposed to go into this stance and mix the opponent up. And then his super skybound art, we like to call it Mario Party mode because he summons Yugu and forces the opponent to play a mini game. While Yugu is on screen, she cannot be harmed and has access to a bunch of crazy attacks that the opponent has to dodge. So basically, if you just want to kind of go crazy and bring a lot of chaos and difficult to block situations to the screen, Lowain and the bros are for you. Ferry. Ferry is a zoner with a slow and methodical game plan. Her unique is this spin move here. This is designed to basically just chip the opponent out. If you do it from up close, you get a lot of chip, and the beginning of it cannot be guard canceled. Her neutral skill is her whip attack. Depending on the strength of the button you press will decide the speed and what happens after. The light whip is a fast poke. If it connects with the opponent, it will knock them off their feet. However, if it connects from up close, it will lock them into an animation that gives you better Oki options afterwards. The medium version can be charged and delayed to try to throw the opponent's timing off. If this version connects, you can pull the opponent in for a combo. The same is true for the H version as well. The ultimate version, as the name implies, is just kind of like the best of both worlds. If it is blocked, it still pulls them in and you are incredibly plus, so you can go from zoning to pressure instantly. And if it connects on hit, you get a hard knockdown. Her down skill is Gigi. She will throw her little buddy Gigi out. This is a big focus of her overall game plan. Her neutral, her zoning, and especially her Oki all revolve around this. You throw Gigi out, and then after a second, Gigi will attack, allowing Ferry to move in and mix up. Most notably, she can go for a high-low here because she has her low light. And if you jump and hit L at the same time, she has an instant overhead. So the idea here is to put them in this situation and mix them up for a combo opportunity. EXGG, instead of being thrown, will run to the opponent. Same with the ultimate version. Her back skill is this short range spin here. This is for block strings and pushing the opponent away. The EX version becomes a launcher in the corner. And the ultimate version becomes a vacuum attack. Ferry is another character who I'll briefly go over supers for because she has very unique supers. Starting with a regular super, she summons Momo and turns them into a ball. Think of this like Dalsum. It's sort of like Yoga Catastrophe if you've ever played Street Fighter. It is a slow orb that is persistent on the screen and allows her to go for pressure and mix-ups. She also has an install which allows her to chain her buttons together. The highlight of Ferry's game plan is just her incredible reach and her ability to loop offense. She is a character that you have to learn a lot of different setups with, but once you learn everything, she has a very, very powerful game plan because she is extremely hard to get in on, but also extremely hard to defend against and extremely hard to not interact with. If you want a character that takes a while to learn but feels very rewarding, Ferry is the character for you. Zeta. Zeta is a mix-up character. While she does have a very balanced kit, she focuses on looping offense. Starting out with her unique. Her unique is a rapid slash attack. By mashing the button, you can increase the number of stabs. The purpose of this is to be a block string ender that sort of pushes the opponent away while doing some pretty okay chip damage. Her neutral skill is a beam attack. This is very fast, goes full screen, helps control the neutral. The light version is fast, while the medium version has a slight delay. You can even hold the medium version to delay it even longer to throw off the opponent's timing if they're trying to roll or dodge. EX version comes out quick and works as a launcher in the corner, and the ultimate version is a jump scare powerful beam. Her forward skill is her lariat. The strength of the button press will decide the distance traveled. The light and medium versions both get 2 actions. You can choose what direction you want to go after the initial stab. You can go forward twice, you can go forward back, you can go forward up back, pretty much whatever direction you want afterwards. The EX version gives you 2 extra actions. The idea here is that you always want the tip of the lariat to connect. That way it remains safe on block, because if you do it from too close, it is extremely punishable. The ultimate version becomes a full screen jump scare that gives you a combo on hit. Her down skill does an anti-air version of the lariat. Just like the grounded version, you get multiple actions, so there is a lot of different permutations you can do here. And of course, the EX gives you 3 actions as well. And the ultimate is one of the best anti-airs in the game and gives you a very powerful, very damaging combo opportunity. And it should be noted that this version can be done in the air as well. This works as a fantastic shimmy. If the opponent thinks that you are trying to throw them and they tech and you hit them with this in the corner, they die. And her back skill is a parry stance. While this does function on paper as a counter, it is also a stance. Whatever button you do out of it will do different actions. This leap here is good for a variety of things, from pressure to combos to just about anything. It's a big part of her game. And the last thing I'll mention is the air version of her unique. She does the pogo stick. This is where all of her mix-ups come in. Whenever you get a knockdown in the corner, you will basically be safe jumping with this. And because of the fact that you can mix this up with 3 different hits, or with a low, or with an air button, you can just see that once you get the setups down, you get a bunch of mix-up potential off of this. And the crazy thing about her is that when you get a hit, it usually leads to the exact same situation again, allowing her to loop her offense on you. So the highlight of Zeta's game plan is, again, just to have a very balanced kit. She plays neutral well, her offense is strong, and if she gets a hit, it is a big problem for the opponent. So if you like mix-ups and set play, check out Zeta. Vaseraga. Now, I've put Vaseraga in the grappler category. A lot of people might disagree with this. I know a lot of people say he's not a grappler, but for simplicity's sake, I'm putting him in this category simply due to the fact that if you are someone who likes to play big bodies, armor characters, or grapplers, it's going to make it easier for you to understand what kind of character Vaseraga is. And if you like those kind of characters, you're going to like Vaseraga, because he is basically the walking fortress of this game. So starting with his unique is armor, straight and simple. By pressing unique, it will automatically fill his armor bar. While his armor bar is full, it gives armor to some of his other special moves. His neutral skill is a fireball. This is good for controlling the mid-range. It doesn't go full screen, but if he has the corner, this move is very powerful for sort of keeping the opponent at bay there. The ultimate version is especially pesky because it's extremely plus. His forward skill is his lariat. This is the move that will gain armor properties if you use the medium or higher while you have the buff on. If you have the buff on, this will eat through just about anything and allow you to just pretty much ignore the game. Down special is his walking stance. He walks forward as the stance implies, and by pressing different buttons, he will do different actions. The light is sort of an anti-air. The medium is a low guard break, and the H is a close range guard break. For both the ultimate shoulder and the ultimate walk, neither of them need the buff to have armor. They just have it naturally. And his back skill is just a straight up command grab. The light version is very fast and will just chuck the opponent. The medium version is an anti-air, and the EX version has the best range of the three. The ultimate version is also a command grab, but becomes invincible on startup. The highlight of Vaseraga's game plan is simply armor. The whole idea of him is to just ignore the opponent. He has a very degenerate game plan, and honestly, if you just want to do whatever you feel like doing, then you can pick Vaseraga. Narmaya. Narmaya is a unique character whose gameplay focuses on two unique stances. By pressing U, you will switch between her two different stances, one with the sword sheathed and one with the sword drawn. The stance that she's currently in decides what buttons and skills she has access to. Starting with her sheath stance, her neutral skill is Setsuna. This is a beam style attack that helps hold down the neutral. Her forward skill is an uppercut. This is her get off of me. The medium and above are all invincible. Her down skill shares a card with her forward skill. However, her back skill is this lunging stance. When you do this skill, it allows her to lunge forward. The strength of the button decides the distance traveled. If you input the skill a second time, she will do a crescent slice. This move is plus on block and switches to her other stance. The ultimate version of this turns into a lariat. For her unsheathed stance, her neutral skill becomes a combo ender. The strength of the button decides how many slashes she does. Her forward skill becomes a counter. The down skill is once again shared with the forward skill, and her back skill is this jumping slash. It is plus on block. The strength of the button decides how far she hops, and the ultimate becomes a full screen teleport attack. This notoriously can be used in the air to fake out jump-ins. The highlight of Narmaya's game plan is simply the number of options that she has available. Due to her two stances, she just has a lot of moves to work with, so she has a lot of different ways that you can play her. She's also just very hard to keep out in general because she has a lot of reach and she can teleport. So if you want a character with a lot of utility, but a little bit of a learning curve, you should give Narmaya a try. EX Narmaya. Narmaya's EX version is a rushdown character. She is balanced and focused on the idea of simply getting in and applying pressure. Her unique button does Setsuna. This is a stance-based move for regular Narmaya, but for EX, just simply pressing U, you will do this neutral controlling beam attack. Her neutral skill is Virgil's Spin. The strength of the button decides the distance traveled and what it does on block. The light version is negative, however, the medium will leave you plus. So not only does she get in from pretty far away, but she doesn't lose her turn. The EX does lose her turn, but it destroys projectiles. And the ultimate version is a mid-screen launcher. Her forward skill is her DP. The medium and above are get off of me tools. Her down skill shares a cooldown with her forward skill. And her back skill is a lariat. Depending on the strength used will decide the distance traveled. The light is very short range. However, the medium can go extremely far if you hold the button down. The EX goes very far as well. If hit from close range, it will stun the opponent for a mid-screen combo opportunity. And the ultimate version, basically the same thing. Depending on the distance hit, it will either cause a wall bounce or give her a hard knockdown into a safe jump situation. The highlight of EX Narmaya's game plan is basically just to be focused and straightforward. Whereas regular Narmaya might be difficult for some to play due to her multiple stances, the fact that EX Narmaya does not have the stances and just focuses on up-close gameplay makes her a lot easier to pick up. And she also has very high damage potential and fairly scary pressure options. So if you enjoy Narmaya as a character, but you don't want to worry about stance switching all the time, then check out her EX version. Soriz. Soriz is a rushdown character in every meaning of the word. He focuses on non-stop offense. Starting with his unique, he enters an armor stance. The purpose of this stance is to obviously armor through attacks, but if you pay attention to the gauge right there underneath the super bar, every time he armors something, he gains charges. This powers up his super. His neutral skill is a lariat. The strength of the button press decides the distance traveled and what it does on block. The light version travels a short distance and is negative. The medium version travels a great distance and is plus, while the EX version functions as a launcher. And then there's the ultimate move, one of the most powerful and degenerate moves in the entire game. It is a full screen lunging armor attack that gives a combo anywhere. So this will eat through anything and give you an unscaled combo when it connects. His forward skill is a pseudo DP. This works as a launcher as well as a get off of me tool. His down skill is this ground punch. Depending on the strength used will decide what the animation does. If you use the medium version, it's a little slow but extremely plus. If you use the EX version, it's fast and plus. And if you use the ultimate version, he does a hop and it's plus. This works as a fantastic shimmy. If the opponent thinks you're gonna throw and you do this, they basically die if you do this in the corner because he gets a big combo opportunity. His back skill does rapid punches. This is used for combos and block string enders. The EX version is plus, and the ultimate version is a guard break. As mentioned, he has a very unique super where he takes off all his clothes, and depending on how many charges you had when you popped this, he will get health back, and when in this stance, it augments his moves and just makes him all around stronger and scarier. However, you can only do this when his health is low, but it does give him access to an incredibly powerful super. So the highlight of Soriz's kit is that he's extremely hard to keep out, When he gets on somebody's block, it's very, very hard to stop his pressure. So if you want a character who is razor focused on just pressure, 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 then check out Soriz. Zooey. Zooey is a unique character. She focuses on dual offense by working together with her pet dragon. Her unique is a charge. By holding the U button down, you will charge her dragon bar. You can see it up there underneath the super bar. By pressing this, you can fill the gauge up, allowing you more access to your dragon partner. You can also cancel this into an attack that can destroy projectiles. Her neutral skill summons her dragon as a projectile. When the dragon comes out, once he makes contact with the opponent on hit or on block, he will stay where he is. And from there, you can command him to do a variety of attacks. The medium is a breath, and the EX is a beam. Again, based on the positioning of the dragon, will decide where these attacks go off. They can even end up behind the opponent. The ultimate version of the dragon summon summons an adult dragon. This is pretty much a jump scare attack. The opponent always has to be on guard of this. If it hits, it immediately launches them in the air for follow-ups. Just keep in mind that doing any of these dragon attacks depletes the dragon gauge, so you do need to charge constantly to fill it back up if you want access to your baby dragon. Her forward skill is a lunge attack. The strength of the button decides the distance of the lunge and how it acts on block. The EX version is plus, and the ultimate version is her get off of me tool. Her down skill is this lightning bolt. This is a negative edge skill, meaning when you do this, if you hold the button down, you get to decide when the lightning goes off. Don't hold the button, the lightning is instant. Hold the button down, it will pop when you let go of it or after a set amount of time. The ultimate does a lightning chain. And her back skill is a Rekka. Her back skill is a Rekka. It has different follow-ups. A low option to catch the opponent off guard if they stand up, and a launcher for combos. The ultimate version just straight up launches them for you. The highlight of Zooey's gameplay is just the fact that since she has a pet, she has a variety of options, especially with how you can position the dragon. She just has a lot of different ways of applying pressure and playing neutral. So if you want a character with a variable moveset, you should give Zooey a try. Cagliostro. Cagliostro is a unique character who focuses on restricting the opponent's movements. Cag's unique is a rock charge. By pressing U, she will charge a rock anywhere from level 1 to level 5. The charged rock can either be held onto or thrown at the opponent at will. The higher the charge, the more plus the rock is on block. Her neutral skill sets a trap. The strength of the button decides the location of the trap. A light one will always leave one down near Cag's foot. The medium leaves one further ahead of her, and the EX will put 2 down. This can be done in the air to place air traps. The ultimate version sets a giant trap. These traps can be interacted with in different ways. If the opponent steps on it, it will pop and give her a combo opportunity. And if they're forced to block it, it gives her a pressure opportunity. Her forward skill is the spike. The light version pushes the opponent away from Cag and has a short range. The medium version has a long range and brings the opponent near Cag. The main point of these spikes is to be used in tandem with the traps to try to force the opponent to interact with them. The EX version tracks and comes out really fast wherever the opponent is. And the ultimate version tracks anywhere on screen and again targets wherever the opponent is. Her down skill is a teleport. The light version goes backwards, medium goes forward, and the EX version has a launcher on the startup that makes it plus. The ultimate version turns into a DP. It is her get off of me tool. And her back special is the hula hoop. This is a lariat that is mostly used to either end her block strings or her combos. The ultimate version is used for wall carry. The highlight of Kag's gameplay is that she is honestly very good at everything. She can zone, she can anti-zone, she can rush down, and she can mix up. She just has a highly volatile kit and is just an overall very reliable character. So if you want a character that's very fun and puts a lot of pressure on the opponent, check out Kag. Also check out my guide because I have a full guide on how to play her. Yuel. Yuel is a mix-up character with fast-paced, non-stop offense. Her unique is a powerful mix-up stance. By pressing U, you will go in and out of flame stance. While in flame stance, you can hit forward to hop forward and back to hop backwards. In this stance, you cannot block, but by pressing the skill button, you can parry. This parry works on just about any attack. The purpose of this stance, however, is to mix the opponent up. Each of the attack buttons do something different. The light attacks are very fast and have lunging properties. The medium attacks are for mixing up. She has an unreactable overhead of 14 frames and a very fast low that is plus. And then the H attacks have a lariat as well as a launcher. Moving on to her skills, her neutral skill is also a lariat. This is for getting in on the opponent. It moves very, very fast. It is relatively safe on block if you hit it at tip range because it has a lot of pushback. And you can cancel it into her stance by pressing unique. The ultimate version travels far and hits hard. Her forward skill is an uppercut. The medium and above versions are invincible. Her down skill summons Fox Flame. This is a move used for extending her pressure. The light version is 0 on block, but the medium version is very plus at +5. The EX version is even faster, and it is +4. And the ultimate version is fastest, and it is +6. And her back skill activates her backflip stance. The startup of this move is invincible, so it gives her extra options for getting out of pressure. If you do the light version on the way back, she does this double slash. If you do the medium version, she comes back in with a low slash that's very hard to challenge. And with the H version, you can do both. Ultimate version turns into a lunging plus move. The highlight of Yuel's game plan is simply the fact that she is very hard to keep out due to the number of lunging moves she has. And then when she's on the opponent's block, she's very hard to defend against or to simply get away from. So if you are someone who likes to mix the opponent up and you enjoy fast-paced offensive pressure, definitely check out Yuel. Uno is a zoner who focuses on strong defensive gameplay. His unique is a parry. This is just a big part of his game plan, is to disrupt the opponent's movements, and he has a lot of ways of interrupting their offense. His neutral skill is this beam attack. It is a almost full screen poke that works as a projectile and is honestly just very hard for the opponent to deal with. The strength of the button will change the charge up time of the attack and the distance covered. The EX version basically hits from full screen very quickly. And the ultimate version hits from max distance extremely quickly. His forward skill activates his staff stance. To start up the stance, he spins his staff in front of him. And by pressing forward and one of the face buttons, you can do a different follow-up action. Forward and light will shoot a slow-moving projectile. Forward and medium will do this quick closing strike. And forward and heavy will do a lariat. By utilizing the EX version of this stance, you can power up any of the follow-ups. The ultimate version sends the staff out and locks onto the opponent, giving Uno lots of plus frames and pushback. His down skill is another parry. This one comes with a guaranteed follow-up. The follow-up is different depending on the strength of the button used. And his back skill does a spin. This is a neutral tool, a combo tool, and a block string ender. The strength of the button will change the direction and distance of the spin. The ultimate version is plus on block. Uno also has access to a very unique super. He has an install super that summons these spears around him, and every time you make contact with the opponent, whether on hit or on block, these spears will fire, giving him frame advantage to either keep his turn on block or to do combos on hit. So he has a lot of different ways of applying pressure or doing some pretty crazy combo confirms while this super is active. The highlight of Uno's game plan is the fact that he is just very, very hard to approach. He has really strong defensive options when you do get in on him, but getting in on him in the first place is difficult because he has such good reach and a lot of his moves push you back. So if you're someone that prefers a more defensive gameplay style, check out Uno. Eustace. Eustace is a zoner who specializes in strong keep away and strong pressure. His unique is a short range lariat style attack with his gun. By pressing it twice, you can do a follow-up. This can also be done in the air. His unique is not that strong on its own, but when paired with his special moves, it becomes pretty formidable. His neutral skill is an anti-air shot. This is to stop opponents from jumping on you, and is also usually plus on block as long as the enemy interacts with it. The strength of the button press decides the angle of the shot. The EX version will fire 2 shots, and the ultimate version does a ricochet shot. His forward skill is his projectile. The strength of the button press decides the speed. The EX version fires a triple shot that is very fast and is very plus anywhere on screen. The forward skill can also be held down to turn the projectile into a beam. And the ultimate version doesn't go full screen right away, but the final part of it does. The first part of it starts up very fast, however. His down skill throws a grenade. The strength of the button decides what type of grenade he throws. The light version is a fast exploding grenade. The medium version is a delayed explosion grenade. And the H version throws a sticky grenade. The sticky grenade can be detonated by doing basically any of his skills, including his unique. And the ultimate version does an extremely slow grenade. This is great for just general pressure and especially Oki. And his back skill enters his dash stance. While in dash stance, pressing any of the face buttons will do a unique follow-up. The light does a very fast stun gun attack that has a little bit of pushback and will detonate grenades for you. The M version does a sliding low attack, and the H version does a uppercut. You can also press unique to do a retreating gunshot. The ultimate version is his get off of me move. The highlight of Eustace's game plan is the fact that he is a very strong hybrid character. It's extremely difficult to get in on him, But once he gets in on you, his offense can be extremely difficult to deal with. So if you're a fan of zoners, but you also like to apply some strong pressure, you might want to take a look at Eustace. Six is a mix-up character who has very high movement speed and very high mobility. His unique attack is a clone. By pressing U, he will send out a clone of himself. If you tap the button, it will be a projectile. However, if you hold the button down, he will take the clone's place. This isn't something I mentioned for the other characters, but it's something I feel like I should mention for 6 specifically. His run speed is insanely high. Just by hitting forward, you'll move across the screen very fast. His neutral skill is a Rekka. By pressing the skill button, you will enter into his Rekka stance. And if you do the skill button again in a different direction, you will do different follow-ups. Pressing the button again will do an uppercut kick that leaves him plus. The back skill follow-up will knock the opponent off their feet, and the up skill version does a plus move on block. The strength of the button decides the distance that the Rekka travels. His forward skill is a parry. This is his main defensive tool. His down skill is his wall kick. This move is for sort of faking the opponent out or getting in from full screen, depending on the strength of the button. And his back skill is a short range projectile. This is designed to extend his pressure. If you do the medium version, it does a sort of lunge attack instead. And the EX version is kind of like a combination of both. It is very, very plus. And the ultimate version is even faster and retains its plus frames. This skill can also be done in the air. If you do the EX version, you can take advantage of the fireball, and it is very, very plus. And the ultimate version becomes a sort of dive kick. The highlight of Six's gameplay is, simply put, his overwhelming offense. He has a lot of ways of just closing the distance between him and the opponent instantly, and then once he gets on the opponent's block, he has pretty good options for trying to open them up. So if you like rushdown mix-up characters who can move really fast, you should check out Six. Vira. Vira is a rushdown character with a focused game plan and evolving tools. Her unique does a running command grab. We'll talk about what that does if you connect it in just a little bit. But for her neutral skill, she does a rapid series of slash attacks. This is for combos and block string enders. The strength of the button decides if she does a follow-up or not. The EX works as her go-to launcher in the corner, and the ultimate version is a plus move. Her forward skill is a DP. This is used for getting the opponent off of you. Her down skill is a summon. Her summon will travel a certain distance depending on the strength of the button used. Light is close range, medium is long range, and the H version tracks. Ultimate version comes out extremely fast. The summon can be used to get in on the opponent, but it's mostly used as an Oki tool. Her back skill is a lariat attack. The light version does a pretty decently ranged slice, and the medium version is a plus move. The EX version is not plus, but it does both versions of the light and medium together. And the ultimate version is an extremely fast lunging low attack. Vira also has access to an install. You can activate the install by using her meter like any normal super, or by landing her command grab. While in her install state, it enhances all of her attacks and special moves, as well as giving her access to an air dash. The highlight of Vira's game plan is simply her very high damage potential and her increased mobility once she enters into her install stance. If you want a character whose game plan is pretty straightforward but pretty scary for the opponent to deal with, you might want to check out Vira. Anila. Anila is an all-rounder with extremely strong neutral tools. Her unique does a continuous slash attack. Just by pressing U, she will do several slashes. This is safe on block and can be used in block strings. By pressing U again, you can do a follow-up. Her neutral skill summons a sheep. The strength of the button decides the speed of the sheep. The unique trait of this projectile is that the opponent cannot roll past it. This makes it a fireball that the opponent can't ignore. They have to either dodge it or jump over it. The ultimate version throws 3 sheep at once and basically just takes over the entire neutral space. Forward skill is her DP. The medium and above are invincible, making them her get off of me tools. Down skill does a sheep hop. This is meant to be a sort of mix-up tool. It launches her in the air and allows you to do buttons on the way down. So obviously you can try to fake things out with this or simply just go for cross-up attacks. The ultimate version does a sort of homing butt slam. And her back skill is Totsugeki. This is good for closing the distance at neutral. The strength of the button decides the speed of the attack. The medium one becomes plus on block due to it being a little bit slower. The H is the fastest but is punishable, so be careful. And the ultimate is super fast and also acts as a launcher. It should be noted that this can be turned into a projectile attack by pressing any of the face buttons during the startup. Instead of riding the sheep forward, she'll simply send the sheep along its way. Normally we don't talk about characters' buttons, but I feel like this is one that has to be pointed out. Anila's sweep has insane range. The highlight of Anila's kit is just the fact that her kit is very balanced and she has really good neutral control. So if you like well-rounded characters with a little bit of extra reach, check out Anila. Siegfried. Siegfried is an all-rounder who focuses on long-range attacks. His unique is a power-up state. By pressing U, he will sacrifice some of his health to increase his attack power. This can be stacked all the way up to level 3. His neutral skill is a fireball. The light version throws a very quick fireball that goes full screen. The medium version throws a sonic boom style fireball that travels slow. It goes almost full screen. And it is slow enough that Siegfried can run behind it and immediately get in to start pressuring the opponent. The EX version is sort of a space control option. And the ultimate version is a neutral jump scare. His forward skill is a DP. Medium and above are invincible. His down skill enters into a stance. The first part of the stance is an attack in and of itself. And then when you press one of the attack buttons afterwards, he will do a different action depending on what you press. The medium activates a parry, while the H follow-up does a high damage follow-up for combo ending, and unique does a command grab. His back skill is a giant slash. This does big damage and a lot of chip. The strength of the button delays the strike itself. By doing the medium version, he will delay it, and you can actually hold the button down to delay it further and make it plus on block. This is true for the EX version as well. And the ultimate version becomes a straight up unblockable. The highlight of Siegfried's gameplay is the fact that he is very well balanced but has a lot of range, very high damage potential, and is very easy to use. So if you want a pretty easy character to pick up, but is also effective in most areas of the game, give Siegfried a shot. Grimnir. Grimnir is a mix-up character with extremely high mobility and very powerful screen control. His unique does a lot of things, but to start off with, it does a flip. You can do buttons out of it. You can even press unique again to come down out of the air with a plus move. Moving on to his skills, his neutral skill is a fireball. At a first glance, it doesn't seem that impressive, but you can actually follow this up with additional inputs. By doing forward and the additional input, you can send the fireball full screen. Up, you will send it upward, and back, you will leave it stationary in front of him, serving as a sort of barrier. The strength of the button decides the intensity of the tornado. The ultimate version throws out basically the jump scare version of this. His forward skill does a spin attack. Depending on the situation, this is going to be used for combos. But if you use the ultimate version, this becomes his DP. His down skill applies seals on the screen. These seals act with his unique to give him special properties. Basically, he can use these to dash from. The EX version fills the screen with seals. This allows you to dash in a bunch of crazy and unpredictable ways. And his back skill is a lariat. This works as a sort of neutral check. The strength of the button decides the distance of the lariat. And by the time you get to the EX, it starts traveling really fast. The ultimate travels extremely fast. The highlight of Grimnir's game plan is the idea that he has a lot of ways of either just attacking you from full screen or moving in on you or mixing you up when he has you in the corner. Basically, if you want a mix-up character who can just move across the screen and has a lot of different offensive options, look no further than Grimnir. Nier. Nier is a unique character. She is Gran Blue's take on a puppet style character. Her unique charges her death gauge. This works as an attack, but the main idea is if you look under the super bar, you see the death charges. You need these charges in order to utilize her puppet. She plays the game a bit differently than everyone else. Her skills do not go on cooldown. If you do her skills, it will summon her puppet death. Instead of going on cooldown like a normal character, it'll simply pull hearts away from death's meter. When the meter goes all the way down, or if death gets hit, she becomes unusable until you get your charges back. When you don't have charges, death will enter this recovery state. During this recovery state, Nier's offense is very weak because she has access to none of her skills, and she also cannot even raging strike without death. So a big part of her game plan is just keeping death alive and making sure she doesn't get hit and making sure you don't use up all of your hearts. As far as death's skills go, her neutral skill does a barrage of punches. The medium version is extremely plus on block. The EX is also plus. And the ultimate is also extremely plus. Her forward skill is a launcher. The light version does a quick launcher. Medium version does a bit of a slower launcher. And the EX does a quick high launcher. Ultimate functions as her get off of me tool. Death's down skill does a spin that pulls the opponent towards Nier. The light is quick, whereas the medium is slower and more plus. And the EX is a bit of both. Ultimate does a very powerful, very fast spin that is extremely plus. And her back skill is a lariat style move. This will immediately send death over to the opponent. Light is short distance but fast. Medium is a little bit further but slower. EX is a little bit of both. And the ultimate is frankly just another one of those jump scare attacks. Another thing to note about Death in general is that her skills can all be chained together. So even if you do a move that isn't necessarily plus, like her uppercut here, you can command her to chain it into another skill. So you could do uppercut into the pull and vice versa. As long as you have hearts, you can just keep chaining moves together and make Death's offense very, very powerful and very, very hard to escape. The highlight of Nier's gameplay is simply the fact that her offense can be extremely hard to get out of once she gets going. She also has very high damage output. However, due to a lot of nerfs that she's received from being a war criminal during the beginning of the game, she is a lot harder to utilize nowadays, so she's got a pretty steep learning curve. So if you want a character that has a pretty interesting playstyle and again, extremely powerful offense, try checking out Nier, but again, just remember that she is a little bit harder to use than most other characters right now. Beelzebub. Bubs is another all-rounder, and he specializes in extremely powerful screen control. His unique is a teleport. Just by pressing U, you will automatically teleport forward a great distance. You can use this to either try to mix up the opponent or just get in on them right away. His neutral skill is a fireball. The strength of the button decides the type of fireball. Light is a very slow moving fireball. It's important to note that his fireball can be charged. If you do the medium, it throws a wall of fireballs. This is very hard for the opponent to get around, obviously, because it's so tall. This can also be charged to strengthen it and throw off the opponent's timing if they're trying to dodge or roll. The EX version throws both. And the ultimate version throws the wall very quickly. His forward skill is a pseudo DP. It's got a bit of a delay to it, but it is invincible in the medium version and above. His down skill is a move he borrowed from Seth. This move will pull the opponent in with plus frames. Strength of the button decides the speed of the pull in. The EX version pulls in fairly quickly, and the ultimate version becomes a straight up unblockable that the opponent has to dodge. His back skill does a slash attack. The strength of the button decides the area that is attacked. The light version does a mid slash that pushes the opponent back. The medium version does a low slash the opponent has to crouch block. And the EX does both. The ultimate version has a lot of range and is plus. And of course, I gotta mention his air skill. If you do his skill in the air, this shares a cooldown with his DP, but his air skill is a dive attack. If you do the medium or heavy versions, it becomes a plus move, so he can just immediately get in and start his offense whenever he has this off of cooldown. The highlight of Bubs' game plan is the fact that it is basically impossible to zone him. He's one of the best anti-zoners in the game, while also having access to some pretty decent zoning and keep away himself. So if you want a character that is very easy to play, but is extremely hard to pin down, then check out Bubs. Belial. Belial is the ultimate all-rounder. He has best-in-class neutral, offense, and defense. His unique is a parry. When you press unique, he will start walking, and until he stops walking, this move functions as an auto parry. It'll parry anything the opponent does, whether it is a strike or a projectile. This makes Belial basically impossible to zone. His neutral skill is a fireball. This is good for checking the neutral space. Button pressed chooses the speed and trajectory. Light throws it forward, medium up, EX fast forward. However, that's not all. He can command his fireballs after they've been thrown. If you throw his fireball and do an additional input, you can send it spiraling upwards if they try to jump, send it spiraling backwards as a sort of fake out, and send it spinning in place if they try to spot dodge. So he has one of the only fireballs in the game that can punish the opponent simply for trying to dodge it. The ultimate version becomes a bullet that is extremely plus on block. It also launches on hit. His forward skill is his DP. The light version is an anti-air. The medium version is a plus move. And the H version is his get off of me. The ultimate version is his get off of me as well. His down skill is a command grab. The button press decides the distance that he walks before he grabs you. The ultimate version is still a command grab, but doubles as a parry and a fake out. When you activate the ultimate version, he will walk forward as if he's doing the parry, but when he gets to the opponent, he will activate the grab. And his back skill is a hit grab. If it connects on the opponent's block, it just does a little bit of pushback and can be punishable. However, if it connects with the opponent, you get this big hit effect here. The ultimate version is plus on block. The highlight of Belial's gameplay is the fact that he is just amazing at everything. His buttons, his special moves, his options. He excels at every single part of the game and has basically been one of the best characters in the game ever since he was released. And despite his numerous nerfs, he just remains a constant problem. So if you want a character that just does everything, you can check out Belial. Avatar Belial. Avatar is a rushdown character with an all or nothing playstyle. His unique does an eye laser, just like Devil Jin. If you hold the button down, you can charge it. Doing this in the air turns it into a dive kick. His neutral skill is a projectile. The button strength decides what type of projectile. Light are a series of grounded rocks that push the opponent away. Medium fires projectiles in all directions and is plus on block. And EX sends the grounded fireball all the way across the screen. Ultimate does a massive barrage of projectiles. So at the start, I mentioned how Avatar is all or nothing. This is because of his gimmick as a character. He is a very low health character, and because his options are so insanely strong, he spends his own health to do his EXs. So whenever you do an EX skill or an ultimate skill, it burns some of his own health. This is to balance out the fact that his tools are just so powerful. His forward skill is his DP. Medium and above work as get off of me's. His down skill enters into his devil stance. When you go into this stance, additional buttons can be pressed to do a series of different follow-ups. Light will do a stomp back down on the ground, that is plus. Medium will do a dive kick. This is also plus. H does a command grab. Obviously, this cannot be blocked. And U does a sweeping laser. Doing the EX version of the stance will power up all of these attacks. And the ultimate version turns into a tracking teleport. And his back skill is a lariat style move. The strength of the button press decides the speed and distance traveled. The ultimate version teleports full screen. The highlight of Avatar's gameplay is his insane damage potential. He has some of, if not the highest damage in the game, but again, that comes at the cost of his own health. So if you like the idea of going all in, all or nothing on Rushdown, check out Avatar Belial. Lucilius. Lucy is a rushdown character with a slow burn gameplay style. His unique enters into sword stance. Once you press U, you'll enter this stance, and while you are in it, you will charge his sword gauge. The sword gauge underneath his super is a big part of his game plan, and just by entering this stance and using it, you will power up your sword gauge. Each button does different attacks, but the main idea is to help you get that sword gauge up as quickly as possible. His neutral skill is his projectile. Depending on the strength pressed, decides the type of projectile. Light throws it in front of you and pushes the opponent back. The medium holds the opponent in place, and the heavy completely locks the opponent down, while the ultimate becomes a full screen boomerang. The main idea behind Lucy's gameplay, the reason I call him a slow burn, is because his skills do not have the same cooldown as a normal character. If you even do a light version, if you take a look at the fireball icon, you can see it's taking a long time to come back. This is because of Lucy's sword gauge mechanic. As you build up sword levels, it speeds up how fast his cooldowns come back. So the idea is you want to build up levels, that way when you do his skills, they come back more quickly. Because all of his skills are very, very powerful, but the fact that they go on a long cooldown is what balances him. So by the time you get his sword gauge to level 5, his skills will start coming back much faster, which just makes him much scarier of a character, being able to throw out these really powerful tools back to back with no cooldown. His forward skill does a sword slash, the light does a downward slash, the medium does a upward slash, and the EX does both. The ultimate becomes his get off me tool. His down skill is a teleport. The light version does a normal teleport that just goes to the opponent. The medium version becomes an attack, and the H version becomes a teleporting dive kick that is plus on block. The ultimate version becomes a full screen plus move. And his back skill is a lariat style move that gets a follow-up on the medium and above versions. The highlight of Lucy's gameplay is the fact that his tools are all incredibly powerful. All of his special moves are really good. He's a very effective anti-zoner. He's very good at locking the opponent down, and it's just hard to keep him away in general. So if you want a character that has extremely powerful tools, but you do have to sort of build them up, give Lucilius a try. 2B. She is a rushdown character with an overwhelming number of options. Since she is a guest character, she plays very differently from the rest of the cast, so her breakdown will be a little bit different. For her, I wanted to mention the fact that her buttons do not function as the other characters do. You can, just like in her actual game, you can do strings even if you're not making contact. So if you do light, 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 or medium, 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 or even heavy, 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 you don't need to be anywhere near the opponent to do her strings. This makes her range and ability to just pressure the opponent from far away incredibly strong. Not just that, she has access to a double jump. She can jump twice, and this makes it very, very hard to anti-air her. Her unique has many properties to it. If you just tap unique, she will do a parry attack. This will activate if the opponent tries to hit you. But if you hold forward in unique, it turns into a super fast run where you can cover the screen instantly. You can also press unique in the air to air stall with our little buddy pod. So if you add this together with her double jump, her air options are kind of crazy. Moving on to her skills. If you take a look under the health bar, you probably already noticed that she does not have skill cards, just because, much like her game that she comes from, she has a skill bar. So instead of being limited to 4 cards, she just has a whole bunch of moves that take away stocks from her skill bar. She's got a lot of skills, so let's just break them down real quick, starting with her neutral skill. Neutral light is pod. This is a block string ender that will keep the opponent at bay from a distance. Medium neutral is a beam. This is her full screen check. It is her main projectile for keeping opponents at bay at a distance. Her H is a barrage of missiles. This is another strong neutral tool and is extremely plus on block, especially from further away. And ultimate neutral does a straight up laser beam. If this connects with the opponent, it crumples them. Down skill, she does the pod slam. This is a move that is plus on block. It's used to break up her pressure sequences. Down medium is the gravity well. This will pull the opponent in and allow her to pressure them. Down heavy is the lock on. Pod will target the opponent anywhere on screen, and if you do it again, pod will zap them. Ultimate down does a tracking orb attack. This will hit the opponent anywhere on screen and will punish people for trying to dodge attacks on reaction. Back skill is a lariat. This closes the distance as well as functions as a combo tool. Back medium is her get over here. She shoots out this wire and automatically gets in at plus frames. This is a very powerful anti-zoning tool, and if people are shooting fireballs, it'll eat right through them and grab the opponent for you. EX back is the hammer. If you space it properly, it becomes a guard break attack. And ultimate back is a DP. This is her main and only get off of me tool, besides supers, of course. The highlight of 2B's game is her insanely versatile kit. She has basically the most moves in the entire game, and some of the best mobility in the game, and some of the most reach in the game. So as a rushdown character, she really is not lacking basically anywhere. So whether you're a fan of Nier or you just enjoy really strong rushdown characters, check out 2B. Vane. Vane is a rushdown character with full screen pressure options. His unique is an armor stance. By pressing U, he will do this giant swing here, and during the animation, he will eat through attacks. You can even hold U to charge it until the opponent actually tries to hit you and let it go. His neutral skill is a series of rapid slashes. The button pressed decides the amount of slashes done. The ultimate version is a very powerful launcher. His forward skill is his uppercut. This is a launcher, an anti-air, and a get off me all in one. The light version travels forward pretty fast. The medium version travels forward kind of slow, but the benefit of the medium version is that if you anti-air with it, it gives you a guaranteed combo even on normal hit. So Vane can literally delete people for jumping. He is a character that you should never, ever try to jump on. And of course, the ultimate version is the reversal option. His down skill summons his shield. This shield has armor on it and will absorb any singular hit from the opponent. The light version summons the shield near Vane. The medium version sends it a little bit further, and the EX version sends it very far. The ultimate version becomes an actual attack. And his back skill is the gigantic swipe. This hits from just about full screen. This is why people jokingly call him a DNF character. He can hit you from almost anywhere. The strength of the button decides what attack he does. Light does this giant slash that goes almost full screen. Medium does this hopping slash that goes almost full screen. And the H version very quickly goes even further than the light. And of course, the ultimate does another gigantic swipe. You can also do this skill in the air to mix up your jumps. These moves work best when you pair them with the shield. The highlight of Vane's kit is pretty obvious. It's just his gigantic range, his insane reach, and his very high damage potential. He's a pretty straightforward character to play, but when he really gets cooking, he is very, very dangerous. So if you like the idea of a character who is pretty straightforward but has a whole lot of reach and some pretty interesting defensive / offensive options, go ahead and check out Vane. Beatrix is a rushdown character who specializes in non-stop pressure. Her unique is a command grab. On top of being unblockable, it gives her a charge, one of her unique mechanics. We'll talk about what that does in just a second. Her neutral skill is Gun Flame. This throws a limited range projectile that's meant to keep the opponent in check. The strength of the button decides the type of projectile. Light is a faster one, while medium is a slower one that's more plus. And the EX is plus no matter where you do it. And the ultimate version becomes full screen. Her forward skill is her uppercut. Use this to get opponents off of you with the medium and above. Down skill is Night Raid Vortex. Use this to slide towards the opponent. The strength of the button decides the distance traveled. Once the attack is blocked, you have the option of doing a follow-up. Just keep in mind that the follow-up is very, very punishable. It should also be noted that the opponent has to block this attack low. The ultimate version is an almost full screen launcher. And her back skill, Bandit Bringer, does a dive attack. The light version is safe on block, while the medium, heavy, and EX are all plus on block. If she lands a command grab or her health gets low, she gets access to her chrono abilities. This will slow the opponent down if she hits them with one of her special moves. The highlight of Beatrix's gameplay is the fact that she is very hard to keep out, has very, very strong offense, very, very high damage, and is very easy to pick up and learn. So if you like rushdown characters and you want to get in there quick, try giving Beatrix a try. Versusia. Versusia is this game's original character. She is a zoner and focuses on total screen control. Her unique is a power-up. By pressing U, she will get a charge, and these charge power up all of her special moves. Her neutral special is a pillar attack. The light version calls the pillar near her. The medium version calls a pillar full screen, usually near the opponent. And the H version is a mid-range pillar, while the ultimate pillar will trap the opponent anywhere on screen. All of these pillars can be followed up if she has a charge available. Her forward skill is an anti-air. The light version shoots an anti-air directly in front of her. The medium version sends it at a bit of a deeper angle. The EX version sends it very far forward. And the ultimate version turns into her get off of me. Her down skill is the orb toss. The light version has limited range but comes out very fast. The medium version goes almost full screen but travels much more slowly. And the H version comes out quickly and forms sort of a barrier. Again, these moves can be powered up by having a charge available. And her back skill is a lariat. The light version has pretty limited range, while the medium goes a bit further and does a uppercut. The H goes very far, very fast. And the ultimate instantly goes full screen. By having a charge available, of course, this move too gets powered up. The highlight of Versusia's game plan is her pretty much inescapable reach. Her pillar paired with her lariat, paired with her orb, make her a character that is very, very hard to get away from. So if you are looking for a zoner that is going to just constantly be applying pressure to the opponent from just about any range, you might want to check out Versusia. Vikala. Vikala is a unique character who specializes in chaotic RNG. Her unique is item toss. If you look under the super bar, you will see her item bar. She has a whole bunch of different items that are available, all RNG based, of course. So every time you press unique, you will throw one of the randomly designated items, all of which have their own effects and properties. Her neutral skill summons a cannon. These cannons can be placed on the screen in a variety of ways depending on the button. Light points the cannon forward, medium points the cannon up. You can also hold the button down to summon the cannon in the air. Light, again, points the cannon forward, medium points the cannon down and forward. If you do EX, you will summon two cannons. The purpose of the cannon is twofold. When you summon it, you can press the button again to fire the item that she's currently thinking of, but you can also just summon it on its own and then feed it items manually. The ultimate version of the cannon doesn't use items, it just does a really fast projectile. Her forward skill is the pinwheel. This throws out a projectile that has a lot of pushback, and if you space it properly, it is plus on block. The light version throws a grounded pinwheel, while the medium version throws an anti-air, and the EX throws a long-lasting plus pinwheel. This one is plus from any range. The ultimate version becomes her reversal attack. Her down skill summons a trap. This will activate automatically if the opponent comes in contact with it. It will even try to prevent the opponent from jumping. The strength of the button decides the distance the trap is placed. Light places it kind of close to Vikala, and EX becomes an attack that will chase down the opponent. This is also true for the ultimate version. And lastly, her back skill is her fireball. The light fireball does a low fireball that stops the opponent from rolling. The medium fireball does a high fireball that is plus on block but can be ducked. The EX fireball becomes a launcher. And the ultimate fireball is sort of an anti-zoning / neutral check. The highlight of Vikala's gameplay is her pretty crazy nature, honestly. She just has a very fun and unique kit. Due to its inherently random nature, it can be very hard to control, and she's just a pretty hard character to utilize in general, but I feel like she makes up for that in fun factor. So if you want a character that's incredibly unique and you never really know what you're gonna get, check out Vikala. Also, I do have a full guide on her. If you're interested, check out the all-in-one Vikala guide on my channel. Sandalphon. Sandy is an all-rounder who utilizes different stances to take advantage of a pretty versatile kit. His unique will enter into an elemental stance. By pressing U, you will enter fire stance. If you press L during the animation, you'll enter water stance, M, earth stance, and H, wind stance. Each of these stances have different properties and effects. Most notably, if you go into wind stance, it dramatically increases his movement speed. It also gives him access to an air dash. His neutral skill is his fireball. It is a pretty standard projectile. The light version is fast, while the medium is a little bit slower, but is more plus, obviously. And the ultimate is a neutral check. The fireball is affected by every stance. If you go into fire, it literally becomes a fireball. If you go into water, it becomes a water orb. This water orb moves slowly across the screen, allows him to move behind it, and will destroy other projectiles for you. The earth stance turns the fireball into a grounded projectile. And wind stance turns the fireball into a bullet. His forward skill is his DP. The medium and above are invincible on startup. His down skill enters him into sword stance. He gets a variety of attacks out of this. If you do the medium version, you can do a lot of different attacks based on what button you press afterwards. Light will do a close range dimensional cut, while medium will do a far range. H turns into a lariat, and unique turns into a very powerful lariat. By utilizing the EX version, you can power up all of these follow-ups. And then the ultimate version does a combination of a couple of attacks. And his back skill is a lariat. If you press unique during this lariat, however, you can enter stances or even do special follow-ups. The ultimate version gets the follow-up no matter what. The highlight of Sandy's kit is the fact that his kit is just very easy to use. It's very balanced around offense, defense, neutral, all that good stuff. And he just has a lot of versatility because of his multiple stances. So if you want to play a pretty simple and straightforward character that has a little bit of, you know, extra options sprinkled on top, give Sandy a try. Galleon. Galleon is a grappler with incredibly dangerous range. Her unique is a ground pound. Just by pressing U, she will pound the ground. This is a low attack, so the opponent has to crouch block this. If they don't, this will immediately launch them up for a combo. This is an extremely powerful part of her kit because as a grappler, opponents are always going to be trying to jump away. So she has a way of always checking them if they are trying to hold up back to get away from her. The ground pound normally has limited range, but if you hold it, it becomes a full screen low attack. Her neutral skill is a close range poke attack. The light version simply pushes the opponent away from you, while the medium version is a little bit slow, but it pulls the opponent in at plus frames, again setting them up for grab pressure. The H version is fast and is also plus. The ultimate version is not only fast, but causes a crumple state. Her forward skill is an anti-air grab. The light version jumps a short distance. The medium version jumps a longer distance. And the EX version has a special property to where if you whiff it, she will throw a projectile down at the opponent. The ultimate version is her reversal option. Her back skill is her command grab. She'll summon the swirling puddle. If the opponent is caught in the puddle, they get grabbed. The light version leaves the opponent close. The medium version sends them flying away. The H version sends them flying high into the air. And the ultimate version comes out very fast. Her down skill brings her whole entire kit together. This summons a marker underneath the opponent. Wherever the opponent is standing, it will put a marker underneath them. The light version summons a small marker, whereas the medium version summons a big marker. Even if you do the small marker, you can slowly charge it up by doing it multiple times. When the marker is down, you can summon a meteor by doing the ground pound. If you pair this with the charge ground pound, she becomes very dangerous from any range. If she's close enough, this actually becomes a combo opportunity. And it also powers up her command grab. It should also be mentioned that if you do the ultimate version of the marker, it just immediately drops a meteor for you. You don't even have to have a marker up, but if you do have a marker up, it will power it up for you. Galleon also has access to a unique super. She has a slow orb style super that will chase the opponent down. The highlight of Galleon's gameplay is her grappler nature. She is a grappler by heart, but she has a lot more range than the average grappler, so it's not very hard for her to press you from far away, but when she does get close, she's very dangerous, has very high damage potential, and has the potential to loop offense. So if you're someone that likes grapplers but wants some extra options outside of the more traditional grappler, check out Galleon. Wilnas. Wilnas is a rushdown character with massive strikes and very heavy offense. His unique is an overhead. Just by pressing U, he will do this wind up overhead. It gives him combo opportunities on hit, and the opponent has to stand up to block it. His neutral skill is a gigantic punch. Even though it is negative, it has a lot of pushback. The strength of the button used decides the range and strength of the punch. The medium is a armor breaker, so keep that in mind if you're fighting some pesky armor characters. Same for the H version, and the ultimate version becomes a very crazy wall bouncing launcher. His forward skill is his DP, medium and above are all invincible on startup. His down skill is a lunging low attack. The light version is negative on block, still safe, but the medium version is plus. This is meant to be used in tandem with his overhead. Since they both have wind-up animations, this is meant to sort of try to mix up the opponent between blocking high or blocking low. The EX version is fast and acts as a launcher, and the ultimate version has a huge follow-up animation. And his back skill is his main skill. This is his lariat. This travels extremely far, extremely fast. The light version has the least amount of range, but medium and above go basically full screen, with the H version being plus. The ultimate version is also full screen, is very, very fast, and has a lot of pushback. I also feel very quickly we should talk about some of Wilnas' other unique traits. He does not have a run like other characters in the game. He has a dash, very similar to like a Street Fighter character, or more specifically like Slayer. He's kind of like Gran Blue's version of Slayer, so he has this dash to get in on people. He also does not have the traditional auto combo block string situation. If you do medium, you are not going to do a triple attack. His strings end at 2 hits. To compensate for this, he has very special dash attacks. His dash light is basically a 6P from Guilty Gear. If you don't know what a 6P is, it's an upper body invul move. That means this will beat all other 6Ps. His medium dash attack does a hop kick, and the heavy does a big stomp that is plus. You can cancel into these attacks from any button just by pressing forward in the corresponding button. It's also important to note about his 6-6L that it does completely destroy projectiles, so it makes him hard to zone. The highlight of Wilnas's gameplay is simply the fact that he does huge damage. He's one of the most damaging characters in the game, and he can be pretty hard to keep out because of how good his lariat is. So if you like slower characters that do a lot of damage, check out Wilnas. And with that, we have covered every character currently available as of the time of this video. So now you should have a really good idea of who you want to main in Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. I went ahead and consolidated all of the characters that we talked about into one tier list here. As you can see, I've gotten them broken down by their designated categories. So if you want to ever refer to this again, it'll help you find the characters more quickly by their playstyle. If there's a certain playstyle you're interested in, just check out this list and go to wherever they are in the timestamp. As you can see, the overall playstyles are pretty balanced in this game. This is a more rushdown focused game, so it's not too surprising that there's more rushdown characters than anything. That's kind of like the direction this game went, but still a pretty good amount of all-rounders, decent amount of mix-ups and zoners, and then the unique characters I feel like can fit into any category. That's why I have them set as unique, because all those characters down there, it's hard to even describe what they do because their kits are just kind of wild. So yeah, you have a lot of options to choose from, clearly. So hopefully this will help you decide on which character you want to play. This is one of those games where there are just so many characters that are so fun to play that it's one of those where you just kind of want to try out a lot of different ones, see how you feel. And hopefully with the information you got here, you feel like you can make the decision on which character is going to suit your playstyle the best. But with all that being said, that is going to be the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching. If this was helpful to you at all, I would greatly appreciate a like. It does help out my channel a lot, and I really do appreciate it. Consider subscribing if you want to see some more from me. I'm going to be playing a lot more Grand Blue future, as well as other games like Guilty Gear Strive, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Street Fighter 6, stuff like that. We play a lot of fighting games here. You can also come hang out with us live on Twitch if you had any more questions about characters, or you just want to come hang out. If you want to see more from me, if you want to see some of these characters in action, check out the playlist in the description or at the end of the video. I have a lot of Grand Blue matches up. Right now, I'm in a big Vikala arc, so if you want to see how that crazy rat plays in some matches, you can check that out. But as always, I really appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.